welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. I'm going to deviate just a little bit today because I went to a crop in Michigan a couple of weeks ago and I had a whole weekend to scrapbook with new people that I was meeting, fantastic people, and I sat down and I just couldn't get any creative juices flowing. And what happens when you do that? When you sit down and you've got time to scrapbook, but you just can't figure out what you're going to do. I want to show you a quick and easy page that a friend of mine, Beth Beller, she is an advisor down in Florida. She showed me this a couple of years ago, and I've taught it to my in-person people, and I just think it's a great way to get your creative juices flowing. Now, what you'll need is 2 background sheets, and I have chosen a black shimmer cardstock for my background sheets. And you may even want to choose your backgrounds after you cut the other papers. But you'll need 2 designer papers. You really need to like both sides of them, okay. But if you don't like one side of one of them, it's not a deal breaker. So for me particularly, I like this. I'm going with the golds, and you'll see why when I pull the pictures out in just a minute. But all you've got to use is your 12-inch trimmer, and you're only going to cut your 2 designer papers. So let me show you the cuts really quickly. And I'm looking at this one because this is a pattern and I want the cross section of the pattern to show. I'm going to turn this pattern sideways to cut it. And I'm going to cut it at 1 inch and 1 inch. And then I'm going to rotate this and cut it at 5 inches. I know this doesn't make sense to you right now, but when I start laying it out, you'll see where I'm going with this. Now, this particular paper, I really, really like. I like both sides of it a lot, but I'm going to cut it at 3. Notice I'm going in from the right side this time because I need the bigger cuts. 3 again. So 3, 3. I'm going to rotate and cut it at 4. And 4 again. And that's all the cutting you'll do. Now, I think the fun thing about this is you've got all these pieces, and it's just fun to play with them because you can figure out exactly how you want them to lay on your 2-page spread. You can play around, you can move them here and there. I'm going to start with one look, but I can about guarantee you it's not going to stay that way. And there is no pattern to this. There is no rhyme nor reason. You choose where you want your papers to go, how you want them to look. These could be side borders. These could be top borders. I didn't necessarily like that as well, but it's not a bad look. There's so many things I feel like you can do with this layout because there's no prescription necessarily. You can make it work with your pictures going up and down. You can make it with your pictures going sideways. And then these end up being really great mats. And I told you I liked both sides of that. So, all right, so look at that. That's quick and easy. I could leave it like this. Originally, I had thought I would do this border across the top. Maybe slide these into the center. You could flip the papers different directions. Oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless with this. And that's the fun of it to me, is the fact that you've got so very many options on this. This one, I might want to put one of those over there. One of these here. And part of this will be determined by the orientation of my pictures. Now, quick and easy, just as is. I also had made a couple of borders for this one in case I wanted to use those. And it would be easy enough to slide these here. Or we could alternate what we're doing here. So here again, it's a matter of playing with your papers, moving them around, flipping them upside down and backwards. But this layout could give you endless possibilities. I'm just going to turn this one over just like this. I think I'll scoot this to the middle. So I would encourage you to play with this. I'm just going to post a picture of this page completed in the comments once I get it done. But y'all, there are just so many things you can do with this. And I think sometimes when you just don't have the creativity going, just making those first few cuts will make such a big difference in getting you started. So I would encourage you to give this layout a shot. See if you like it. Great way to finish up some paper packs because you only need 2 backgrounds and 2 of your decorative sheets. So if you've got 2 designer sheets from the same collection and you want to use those up, this is a great way to do that. I think I like this look. All right, so let me just show you the pictures very quickly. I've got one big one, and I haven't decided for sure that I'm going to use it, but this was from a restaurant that we visited when we were in Puerto Vallarta, and I've got lots of pictures of the food, probably going in peekaboo pockets, pictures of the women, pictures of the men. So I'm going to play around with this look. I'm not going to bore you with putting the pictures on, but I wanted you to see a really quick, easy way that you could create a page using a couple of designer papers and a few easy cuts. Remember, your first paper you cut at 1 and 1, you rotate it and cut it at 5. The second paper you cut at 3 and 3, rotate, cut at 4 and 4. And that's your quick, easy tip for today. My intention had been just to show you the completed layout when I was finished, but I wanted to talk you through something really quickly. I laid it out as I had shown you in the last picture, and I really liked it, except my pictures are very dull. They were taken inside this restaurant, which was kind of dark, and what I found is that just laying those on the papers just made everything look more yellowy. And I'm sure you've seen that before. Sometimes your lighting just doesn't look right, and if you use any kind of yellowy gold undertones, it makes your pictures look more that way. Look at these right here. I mean, they've got a yellow tint to them, but when I lay them on these neutral colors, it just really picks up more of that yellowy color. So I decided to pull white, and you know, I'm using those white cover sheets, but just to do a thin mat around them, and I am matting them together, the ones that are the same size. I purposefully kept the same size on the pictures to mat them as a group to make it a little more cohesive. And I think the look is so much better doing it this way. And I'll show you the difference in just a second. Now, it did help that I had the black background, and the black background would have been fine here. I mean, that doesn't look too bad, but let's look at the difference it makes when I put the white behind that. So when your pictures have a yellowy tint or the background just seems kind of dull, try matting on white. You know, all of those vacation pictures I did last year, I did the white borders around them, and it just made such a big difference in the colors of the picture. Several people said to me, oh, your pictures are so vibrant. A lot of it has to do with that white matting because it just really makes the colors in your pictures pop. All right, so look at the difference there. So this is the layout we've ended up with. I haven't done any journaling at all, but I will do that and add it to this page so you'll see it completed. But I did want to tell you why I went back and did the matting, and I hope it makes sense to you. I think matting just makes a huge difference in making our pictures look more like we intended them to look when we took them. Now, most of these, actually all of these, I did not even take. We had a photographer who took several of them, but again, the lighting was just not great in the restaurant, and then some of them were taken with cell phone cameras. I'm going to leave this space here for journaling. That's why I scooted that. But this did end up being a really quick and easy layout nonetheless, even with a lot of matting going on. Now, you could add so many things. You could go back and add borders. You could add embellishments. I didn't really feel like this one needed anything extra. So, aside from journaling, this page is completed. and it got my creative juices flowing. Now I'm ready to go on and scrapbook all day long. And until I see you next time, happy scrapping.